Aloha, I'm Daerick Lanakila from volcanoislandhaven.com and Daerick.com, here doing a Q&A for my clients and for anybody else who wants to know a little bit more about the work. So one of the questions that came in was how do you do this at a distance? How does distance healing work? And that's a really good question. So it's definitely a skill and a teachable skill. And I'm certainly not the only healer that does it. Many, many healers are able to do this, and certain healing modalities practice this almost explicitly. So this is nothing new to me. It's nothing new to the healing field, but it takes practice. It takes training. So I think the first thing that you have to be able to do and it is to be able to connect with someone and with a very specific individual, and to learn how to do that in a way that not only is accurate but is very effective. Definitely takes some practice. So we all do it. So we all connect with people that we know, people that we love, people we don't love. We all connect with people. So, for example, one simple example that many, if not everybody, has experienced is the ability when let's just say you're thinking about a friend, and all of a sudden that friend calls, or you run into that friend at the store or something like that. Now that's you connecting into the energy. That's you connecting into that energy regardless of where they are. So they could be around the world. They could be, next door. It doesn't matter. But at some level, you're actually feeling them, and there's some sort of connection. So that's a very simple answer about how we connect to individuals anywhere in the world, that all of us do. Now, as a practitioner, I've had to learn how to do that at a much higher level. So how do I connect with somebody who's anywhere around the world, and how does that energy transfer? We've all heard about people laying on hands and doing hands-on healing, and that kind of makes sense to us because there's a transference of energy from one person to the other through touch. So, that makes a lot of sense. But that same transfer, that same energy can go anywhere. Can go anywhere in the world with the right ability of focus and intention, because energy, as Einstein proved decades ago, that energy travels, I think, very close to the speed of light. So in other words, if energy is traveling through me to somebody around the world from me, it takes a millisecond to get there because of the distance and the almost speed of light. So there's almost no time difference, although technically there is a time difference, but it's negligible. It's not something that we can perceive because of really how close we are, although that sounds like it's a far away around the world. But when we're talking about the speed of light or close to it, that distance is very short. So whether I'm laying hands on somebody, whether I'm 5 inches away, allowing energy to transfer from my hands to that person, or whether I'm around the world, it doesn't really matter. As long as I can tune into that person, as long as I can focus on that person and have a connection. Now, for me, there's a lot of different ways I can have that connection. If I talk to somebody on the phone, regardless of anything else, of ever seeing them or anything. But if I talk to them on the phone, then I've got that connection with them, and I can reconnect to that at any time. If I have if I have enough individual information about that person that will direct me to them in this world, no matter where they are, but will be very very specific about who they are. So name, obviously, but that's, there's a lot of people who could have the same name, so I need more than that. Birth date. That's the next thing. And again, there could be, more than one person with the same name with the same birth date. So I always look for some other connection. So what is my other connection? Now that may be maybe a picture I've been sent. That may be a connection through a loved one. So maybe I'm doing the healing on a child of somebody. So I can connect through the parent. So as long as I know the parent, I know the child and the child's name and the child's birthday, now I've got something very specific. There is, nobody else. There's no other child with that same date and name connected with that particular person. So it's all about finding the right connection so that I can I know that I'm working with that person, or whether it's a parent or somebody. It doesn't really matter as long as I have enough information. Now it could be just a picture, just a photograph. So there's a lot of different ways that I can connect. And there's a lot of different ways that different people connect. But as long as I have that connection, then I can tune in. And when I tune into somebody and I connect to them, I begin to feel within my body what's going on. I begin to feel things of where I need to work depending on the goal. So I don't connect with somebody just to connect, just to see what's going on in general. Personally, I like something very specific because I could tune into somebody and there could be a million things going on with them, good, bad, indifferent. There's a lot of different things that can be going on with somebody. I don't want to tune into, they've got a wart and they've got a hangnail and they've got, this and that. So I don't want to be tuning into all these different crazy things that may mean nothing to them. Okay, let's see what else to talk about that with distance healing. I mean, there's a lot of information out there on distance healing and how it works, and it can be different with everybody. So certainly you can go on the internet and do lots of searching if it's really important for you to learn, well, how does this work and why does it work? That's your logical mind trying to figure that out. And if you need that, then do some research, and you can dive down the rabbit hole of quantum physics, which will thoroughly explain how energy works and how energy works from a distance and how energy passes right through the earth and right through physical matter. And or you could just say, well, you know what? I don't see radio waves and they work. I can be driving in my car and turn on the radio wherever I am, and all of a sudden there's music or somebody talking, and I don't see those, and I don't know how that works, but it works. Or the same thing with TV or satellites or your cell phone. How do you talk to somebody around the world live, and your phone's not connected to anything? So that's another example of energy. That's just a very well explained and scientifically based way of doing it. And but 100 years ago, or even 30 years ago with our cell phones, that wasn't possible. That we weren't able to do that. So this is just energy healing and distance healing. I really believe that at some point, science will be able to explain it even better than they can right now. Science will be able to duplicate it, I believe, at some point, because they already do to some degree. They understand vibration and they understand energy. And in fact, every medication actually has a vibratory frequency attached to it. So they understand that there's a vibration of plants and of extracts and of factory made pills that's important, and that vibration does something within our body and specifically creates certain relief and certain symptoms and certain side effects as well. So yes, I think at some point what I'm doing, it's to some people it seems magical and it seems miraculous, and And sometimes it seems that way to me too, because I don't understand all of it either. I know it works. I know how to do what I do, but I don't usually know all the whys. I often don't have all the understanding or the whys of how this works and what it's actually doing. That's why when I work on somebody, that it often, even though I might be focused on certain areas, there's often much more going on than I'm ever seeing. There's often many more things that are happening, other parts of the body that are healing, other things that are going on that are in alignment with what needs to happen in order for you to heal. And I have to let go of needing to know all of that, needing to know all of the exact whys and hows and all of that, and just trust that I'm guided to certain areas. And I probably won't ever know exactly why I'm guided to work in your brain when it's a stomach issue. Although nowadays, science has finally figured out that there's a direct connection between the gut and the brain. And there's a lot of connection, and they call the gut the second brain, or the stomach the second brain, because there's a lot more going on down there than they ever realized. So, it's a magical time that we all live in, where things that weren't true or we didn't believe in are becoming just normal things now. So hang in there. Whatever you got going on, it's likely there's an answer for it, and there's a way to get through it. And of course, I'll do what I can with it. But whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, there's a lot of different things out there that can help. And I encourage you to not give up hope and to keep doing all you can do to heal, because you deserve to live a healthy life. You deserve to be able to do the things that you want to do. And it's not necessarily going to be an easy path. It may take a while and it may take a lot to get there, but I really believe you can get there. And if I can help, then I'd be honored. And that's part of my mission here. So thanks for listening in, and we'll talk again next week. Aloha.